Peter Cardinal Dery was born in Zimo Pari, a small village in Nandom of the Upper West region of Ghana in Ko, on May 10, 1918. He was the fourth of the 10 children born to Theodore Dery and Agnes Zure. Because he was born after the death in infancy of his immediate brother, he was thought to be a reincarnation of his dead brother, and so, according to the tradition, he was called Dery. As a youth, the future cardinal accompanied his uncle, Mankrina, who was a renowned traditional priest, to establish his many and varied fetish for the prominent people of the Nandom area and even beyond into Burkina Faso. His main duty was to help his uncle slay the animals, especially chicken, required for the establishment of the fetishes. Dery, however, abandoned this traditional way of life when he was brought to the missionaries in Jirapa by his father. He was consequently one of the 11 persons to be baptized in the whole of the Upper West region of Ghana on Christmas Eve, 1932. Then, he was baptized with the name Peter. Peter Dery was quite grown when he began his elementary schooling at the newly opened Catechist School in Jirapa in 1932. He was sent to St. Paul's Junior School in Navrongo in 1934 to Class 5 because of his brightness and proficiency in English language. In May 1935, he was promoted to Immaculate Conception Junior Seminary O-Level, and he was admitted to the higher school Civ Form alongside with his Civ Form studies. He was enrolled into St. John Bosco Training College. In 1941, Peter Dery completed the A-Level studies and at the same time graduated as a trained teacher with the Teacher's Certificate B. Peter Dery was attracted to the priesthood whilst he was working in Jirapa as a young boy. Peter Dery began his priestly formation at St. Teresa's Major Seminary, Amisano, in the Archdiocese of Cape Coast. He also studied 3 years of philosophy and 2 years of theology, after which he was transferred with other students to open the new St. Victor's Major Seminary in Ouagadougou in 1946. In 1951, he finished his priestly formation and was ordained on February 11, 1951 in St. Teresa Church, Nandom by Gerard Bertrand, M. Archbishop of Tamale. After 2 years of pastoral work, he was transferred to Ko in 1953 where he was made the local manager of the school. In February 1954, he was transferred back to Nandom. A good number of boys and girls he came in contact with have become priests and religious. Several other lay persons occupy prominent positions in Ghana and beyond. In 1957, he was transferred to Kalio and made the first indigenous parish priest in the diocese. Between 1957 and 1958, he studied at St. Francis Xavier University, Nova Scotia, Canada, where he obtained a diploma in social studies. He also pursued a course in religious education with the International Catechetical Institute of Lumen Vitae, Brussels, an affiliate of the University of Leuven. Dery was awarded a diploma. On March 16, 1960, Father Dery was elected first bishop of Wa and was consecrated bishop on May 8, 1960 at St. Peter's Square, Rome, by Pope John XXIII. As soon as his installation, he requested permission from Rome to translate the ordinary of the Holy Mass into the local language of his people, the Gari. Pope John XXIII granted the request and Bishop Dery composed the first Gari Mass. As a bishop, he involved the laity in the affairs of the church. He promoted the education of the youth and promoted vocations. He was a council father at the Second Vatican Council held in Rome from 1962 to 1965. He became the Apostolic Administrator when the seat of Tamale was vacant and was elevated to the rank of an archdiocese on May 30, 1977. He was the president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference from 1982 to 1988. He retired as Archbishop of Tamale on March 26, 1994. Archbishop Peter Dery, though retired, was created cardinal by Pope Benedict XVI on March 24, 2006 and installed Cardinal Deacon of St. Helena, Rome on March 28, 2006. He was about 88 years old at the time he was promoted cardinal. Peter Cardinal Dery died in his residence in Tamale on March 6, 2008. He was given a state burial held at the Tamale Sports Stadium and was buried on April 1, 2008 in the Our Lady of Annunciation Cathedral, Tamale. Mr. Alphonsus Asuma shares his personal encounter with the late Cardinal.
He was somebody who was not discriminative. And he was not dealing with only his tribe people. He was dealing with people all across. And I have a list which I want to present now, because I happen to know all these people through YCS and then Laity Council. One, Mr. Fusuaba Mensa Banahini. He was the former finance administrator of Get Fund. And it was during his time that many northern schools had buses through him because of Cardinal, what Cardinal did when he was the Gansek chairman. Anytime them visited this diocese, they call on Archbishop Dery at that time, and he knew what he was doing for them. I want to say that the servant of God, late Peter Cardinal Dery, was a real gift from God and his parents to the world, and more so to Ghana. There was a man who did not discriminate among tribes, whether a Dagao, Akan, or Fante Ga, call it. His heart was an ocean of generosity, kindness, love, deep concern for the marginalized, women, the youth, above all widows and orphans. This is a personality. We do not need any miracles for his canonization. His miracles while alive occurred in the people he transformed, and those who he healed, like Elias Farah from Ewo, a village west of Wa town. So for me, anytime I think of him, I know I have lost a father. He was a man of miracles while he was alive. He was a great gift. Nobody has pushed me to say that. I'm saying clearly from my mind and my heart. The man I worked with, he never intimidated me in any way. All my children, they know him before he went away. And we are proud of him. So I'm only waiting for the day it will be announced he is canonized. And then we know that everything has come to an end now. And we will use him every day in our prayers.
Muhammad Abubakar Anala Sani also has this to say.
I am the son of the late Mr. Anala, who was the one who started the Tuna Health Post. I, for a few months, attended Catholic, that is the RC Middle School in Tuna, and from there I moved on to Wa Secondary School. Actually, the name of the Cardinal as at that time was a household name. He was loved and adored by many people around. Those who were, in my opinion, elderly at the time, usually will tell us about him. That is how they got in touch with him, how he brought them from cottages, villages and other places through school, and even some of them were our teachers. I knew some who were police officers, army officers, and some of them were also in the priesthood. But for me, it was on an occasion, because for several times he visited Tuna. But the very first time I had an encounter with him was when I was in Wa Secondary School. On one of our midterms visit, I came home I'll say Tuna, and I went, in fact schools had opened by then, so I went to goodbye the then parish priest, Father Hagen, who was a German. I'm told he's late now. So when I went there, fortunately the Cardinal was around, and I actually saw him in his cassock. I said, hey, who was this man? Because of what he was wearing and so on, I usually will see pictures of the Pope, and sometimes so I just didn't know he was the one. So I stood a little far from them, maybe I will say just about some 5-10 meters away from them. So he raised his hand and then called me, because he knew I wanted to come to either him or the father, Father Hagen. So Father Hagen mentioned my name, and I got closer. He asked of my name, I mentioned, but then there was something going through me. I was a bit, as at the time, looking at somebody of his structure, I thought, I wasn't comfortable speaking. So he again asked that I get near him. So he decided to put his hand on me and then asked, did you say your name is Mohammed? I said yes. Then Father told him who my father was. And he said, oh, the medical assistant here, good. So he started asking questions. Which school are you? And so on and so forth. So I told him, and he said, well, you sound so intelligent. What do you want to become in future? I kept quiet. Then in fact, he started praying for me, and he later asked Father about my dad, and Father also responded and said, oh, I usually will come to them, and that I was very free with some of the priests who were around. And I can remember Father Eugene and then one other, Father Peter. I used to go to them at the parish there. So the Cardinal then told me that, Mohammed, try. You are going to be a great man in future. Okay, just try for me. And as and when I visit Tuna, I will always ask of you here. And whenever you have problems, come to the parish and tell them. Father Hagen will always be there for you. And so from there, to be honest with you, on that very sad day, I was humbled. And then I actually ran home to tell my dad about my encounter with him. Throughout his questions, he kept insisting that try and go to school, okay? You are going to be a brilliant person, and I would like to live to see you achieve your dreams. And so from then I got to know him. And so for me, I think he was one in a million. And we need to actually eulogize this man. And I will again want to say that, but for him, most people wouldn't have gone to school, because I had a lot of friends who, but for him, wouldn't have been what they are today. And they keep telling me. He actually, I remember in the encounter, he asked whether I was a Muslim, or I said yes, I was a Muslim. He said, oh, that's good, that's good. He urged me on, yeah, that's good, just be a good boy. I mean, like, he didn't say anything to look as if I should rather want to convert to be a Christian or something of that sort. And so for me, I believe this man, we should hold him very high. Occasionally my dad will tell me about how personally the bishop was so passionate about his people and the people around, irrespective of your religion, tribe, creed, color, or whatever. I am thinking that now that I'm matured, I would have wished that he's still alive, that some of us could sit with him and ask him questions about say the magic, the spiritual magic that was in him. I would have wished that he's alive, and some of us could have benefited from his wisdom and most of the things he did in life. Yes, so we missed him a lot, especially me.
Madam Veronica Amina Idi, a retired teacher, believes the late cardinal was a true philanthropist who has passion for humanity.
My office was in his house, so when these local women come with their various complaints, he would just pass through the window and say, Vero, but I should come. That I should ask the women what their problems were. This one will say, they don't have food in the house. This one, this. Then he would tell me, I should ask them, how much is the bag of maize? If there are 3, when they tell me, he will enter the room, count the money and give it to me, and I'll give it to the woman one after the other. Not even women alone, men. The men too will come with their problems. He will come, when they say, he will come money and give it to me, and I'll give it to him. So the man has love for humanity. Not even Christians, so they were these, our local women who were in need of help, which he really did it. And one day I was in the office, you see some birds come to the veranda. I was watching him. You come and look at the birds, you enter and then fetch some food, rice or what, throw it, because they normally come and make noise in the veranda, you know, when you are entering his room, that place. And then you fetch water and give it to the birds. I say, what kind of man is he? Even birds, he has love for them. So this has made me to like the man, because he is not discriminating. Anyone who tells you that he is discriminating, that person does not know the man. I am not a Dagao, I'm a Kasam. But he has taken me as one of his daughters and my children's welfare. He made sure that he pushed me through the ladder, through this development work, up to the stage he left. And I still cherish him because he is a father to me. I have a picture with him. Anytime I go and stand and talk to him like the way I used to talk to him. So Cardinal Dery is a man who loved humanity. He loves sharing. Whatever he has, he shared with people. And he was interested in the promotion of women's empowerment in the diocese. He made sure that anything that had something to do with women, and you go with the program, he will tell you, go and bring the budget. I'm interested in it. So he promoted women's empowerment for a long time. So in short, the Cardinal we are talking about, late Cardinal, was a man of principle, a man of love, a man who did not discriminate whether you are this tribe or this tribe. If you have the capabilities and you want to do something and you go in honestly, he will support you to do it, especially if you are a woman. So, Cardinal, we all are praying that he should be canonized as a saint, because he was already a living saint on earth. He lived it. He shared whatever he had with the vulnerable, the poor, the marginalized. So this is a man we can never forget. Anytime I feel like talking, I go and stand in front of this and talk. And the cathedral, anytime I'm entering cathedral, I have to go and stand by the tomb, because my conscience will not leave me. I feel there's something missing in me. I go and say, Daddy, don't worry. I speak in our language, and then I'm satisfied. I go and sit down. So Cardinal will forever be my father until one day I'll also meet him in heaven. And I believe he's already in heaven. We are only praying as a formality on earth here. He's already in heaven with his maker.
I really got to know Peter Cardinal Pope Dery between 1964 and 65. when I was in secondary Form 1. Then I was in St. Charles, and he visited the school and sent for me. I said, this man, does he know me? I was wondering how he got to know me. But I attended his call in the headmaster's office. Then I asked him how he got to know about me. He said yes, that he has a list of all students who are in secondary school, especially the mission secondary schools. And that's why he got to know me. So he talked a lot about my family, and that he also comes from the same place like me. Only they migrated to Ko. Then he advised me about my studies. And there he gave me some money for my upkeep. Little did I know that he had given me a scholarship already through my headmaster. My fees were always paid by him, Tamale. And then although my parents also paid, but he paid my fees. And he encouraged me anytime I was passing back home, I should stop at Wa to say hello to him. So we continued until he was transferred to Tamale here as bishop. But what I got to know about him was that he was so down to earth, so simple. He did not discriminate. Even some of us, as young as we ate with him. I remember the first time I took turkey meat was from him. He said, oh, eat, that's turkey meat. I was feeling shy, but he was so down to earth. He was really interested in education. You look at, people must have mentioned that, look at Xavier, look at Non-Dam Secondary School, look at St. Francis of Assisi. Many people do not think that, they do not know that he initiated the St. Francis of Assisi to be there. He traveled, he told me personally, he traveled to meet Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to talk about establishing a school through the White Sisters. And Nkrumah gave him the green light just to make sure that the girls were educated properly. He believed in something. If you want somebody to listen to you about God, you must empower the person. Empower him. Make sure he is okay. If he's a farmer, he farms properly. If he is to be educated, he is educated properly. And when somebody's mind is settled, you can now talk to God about God to him, and he will listen. So he was all around this way. Then when I was the head of these 3 schools, he was sending me students on admission. And he asked me to monitor them and make sure that they were all right. And he didn't care where anybody was from. He took care of almost everybody, not only his tribe, but everywhere. He took care of them. He lived the way Jesus Christ lived, really. He just simply was a man. No, you can't compare him with many people. Very, 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 very temperate in his ways. He was such a kind man, somebody who had concern for everybody, not anybody. Once you were a human being, whether you were a Catholic or any other person, the poor, the needy, the rich, he had time for everybody. Imagine, one day I was there when the Anglican bishop came and wanted the type of dress, like a cassock. You know, we wear almost the same thing. He offered 2 of them to the man, free of charge. Somebody would have said, oh, you belong to this religious faction, I also belong to that, I won't give you. But he did that one. He lived for God and lived for humanity. That was the man. I believe he is already in heaven. It's the formalities we are going through.
Mrs. Rose Cassie and her husband also shares their personal experience about the late Peter Cardinal Dery.
I was Cardinal's nurse when he fell sick. I nursed him from the time they brought him from outside the country back to Ghana. I was then working with the Archdiocese as the Natural Family Planning and Family Life Coordinator. So the health team met, and then they assigned me that I should be with
Cardinal. By then he was sent to St. Vitus. So, and I stay at Chogolocos. So I have to leave my husband with the children and go and be with Cardinal those days. I'll go throughout the day, be there. After he's relaxing, I come back home, just have a bath, and go and stay with him throughout the night till the next day. So I have been with Cardinal Dery for about 10 years. I know Cardinal to be a very spiritual man for his spirituality. He's really good because of his spirituality. When even you get to him, you get some comfort. I know him for his generosity. Being with him all those years, when people come around, he doesn't look at the tribe, the race, the color. He tries to help equally. At times even I make a joke with him. I said, I normally call him Daddy. I said, these people you are giving out things, are they generous? He said, oh yes, they are genuine people, very genuine. If they are not, I will do my part as a human being. And he really does it. He's very generous, very, very generous. So I really missed him greatly. When Cardinal Dery, those years, he comes to cathedral to pray, even outside people will say, as if he has brought spirit. Even when he raises his hand to bless, you get some gifts. When we are outside, people say it. So at times, when even some bishops or others even come to pray, it makes me remember what parishioners say about good things about Cardinal Dery. So I've really missed him. So Cardinal Dery is really, really a prayerful man. He was a living saint.
He's already in heaven. It's the formalities we are going through.
And I believe he's already in heaven. We are only praying as a formality on earth here. He's already in heaven with his maker.
He was a man of miracles while he was alive. He was a great gift.
All to Jesus I surrender. All.
This is a man of faith, a man who lived for humanity. May his soul rest in perfect peace.